So when I alluded earlier to being familiar with you outside of Roxy Music, I was of course talking about your work with David Gilmour and Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan, especially of David as a guitarist, of course.
of course.
And I understand you and him go way back. Is that correct?
That's right. Let's see. I think I was 16 in January 1967 when I my father had died in South America, and we were back in England, and my mother was a Colombian lady from Barranquilla, the coast of Colombia. And I said, "Look, I really want to be a pop musician, rock musician, whatever." She had no idea what that was. And my brother said, okay, my brother had been up at Cambridge University, and he said, I know this guy, and this week he has joined a band as a professional musician. Let's go and talk to him to see what you have to do to be a professional musician. And that guy was David Gilmour. And he just literally that week joined Pink Floyd as a full member. And he can't remember what he said to me, but he said it must have been good because 5 years later you managed to get into Roxy Music. So, and we've stayed in touch ever since then, since 1967, and he's my next door neighbor in the country.
Right.
I say, it goes back a long way. So yeah, I spent basically 10 years between 2005 and 2015 working on his albums, the Pink Floyd album, doing some tours. We came to Canada, yes, several times on both tours, and that was great fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. And so, you of course got to write. You co-wrote the song "One Slip" off of Pink Floyd's "Momentary Lapse of
yeah,
Reason," but then it was quite a few years later, and then you get the call to work on this record here, "On an Island."
yeah.
How did that opportunity present itself?
Well, as I said, I'm his next door neighbor,
Yeah, yeah,
so we were around there one for. I think actually to start with, I'd done a solo album and asked him if he'd come and play on it, called 6 p.m. That's right. And so I went up to his little studio and we played and stuff. And then over dinner one night, he said, "Do you fancy? I think I'm going to do another album. I haven't done one for like, I don't know,
it
10
was like
years or
I think it
15,
was longer. Yeah,
longer, 15." I said, "Well, you obviously don't need a proper producer, but I can be an extra ears to sort of just say sometimes you need, is this any good or not?" And then he said he had like 10 years worth of little ideas. Could I listen to them all? And see if any. So I would pick one bit, stick it together with another bit, and come up to my studio to a little demo and go back to see him. He would say, "What's this?" That's just you. That's what because he had so many little bits, pieces, he couldn't remember half of them.
yeah.
I said, "This is piece number 134 stuck onto piece number 32, and then it goes out on piece 91.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So some of those, funny enough, some of those demo things have been used not only on that album, but on Rattle That Lock, and even on the latest one,
Right.
which I didn't produce or do anything. But actually, one of those things is it one or two? I think definitely one, but it might be not. So yeah,
It's there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I wanted to ask about the title track of "On an Island" because I think like that's such an atmospheric song, and of course it's got great background vocals with David Crosby and Graham Nash on it. So,
Yeah.
what was it like putting that song together?
I'm just casting my mind back because a lot of things have happened since. Um, it was a joy. It's a very kind of, we were considering what kind of album he should do. And this sort of gentle side of David came to the fore. And the kind of chords sequence, a very major seventh type, and they lend themselves to a lot of harmonies and stuff. And luckily, he was in touch with Cross and Graham, and so they were the perfect people to blend with his voice, which from a harmony point of view is just beautiful, and you can hear it all over that. And then of course they came on tour for a bit
Hmm.
as well. It was an absolute joy to have them there, just such legends.
For sure.
Yeah.
And playing that song live specifically, you mentioned playing live. It's cool because like if you go on YouTube and watch the footage of playing that song in particular, you and Dave are sort of trading licks back and forth. That's got to be a real thrill to be up on a
Yeah.
big stage with David Gilmour, having a
Yeah.
little guitar duel like that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. And especially because that, obviously I didn't play on the Pink Floyd stuff, um, so I had to learn his other parts, but something like that had much more resonance for me.
Hmm.
I've been involved in the creation of it, seen the birth of it, and then carried it right through. And then for the live album, we recorded every concert. I had to go through every single version of it and choose which one was going to go on the live album and things like that. So I definitely heard a lot of versions.
Yeah, for sure.